What's up? I'm Troubleshoot. It's Thursday, the 27th of February, 2025. Let's talk about this week's brand new Rust skins. If you're a Rust Desert Dweller, this drop is gonna feed you real good. Everything's brown and desert compatible camouflage. So let's start off with the prices before I show you in game. First of all, the all or nothing garage door skinned like the Bandit Camp gambling machine, $249 USD. Then for $2, the Bang double barrel, followed by the Barbarian hoodie and pants, both for $1.50, a death metal large box for $2.50, Elysium assault rifle for $5, Odyssey SAR for $2.50, Phantom backpack for $2.50, Sloth Rock, this is adorable, for $2.50, followed by the Fallen helmet, kilt, and vest. This road sign kit will put you back $1.50 for the coffee can helmet, as well as $2 for the kilt and $2 for the vest. Let's check these things out in game. Starting off at the very top with the Barbarian hoodie and pants, these both put you back $1.50, and as you can see, they're relatively good camo. They're more of a darker brown than a desert camo, and the white kind of shows you off a bit, but this is more of a historical primal slash olden day themed skin. It looks really cool with the leather wrap going around all of this fur and all of these tatty cloths and things like that spread across you. It's a pretty rustic looking skin that would fit in with pretty much any frontier setup or base in Rust. Ultimately pretty cool, but let me know your opinion on it. Adding on to these, the Fallen kit with the road sign, kilt, helmet, and chest plate. As you can see, skulls are all over this with ribs and other bones and bits and bobs all around this thing. It's a really hardcore looking skin that fits in really well with this week's box as well. If you're running some kind of Rust death metal concert, this should definitely be on your purchase list, but for everything else, if you're planning on dominating a server and collecting heads, this would be a pretty cool setup. The helmet features a massive skull on the front. As you can see, here's a nose and teeth, as well as more skulls on top of it. The jaw on this thing is absolutely massive, covering the entire mandible cover of this coffee can helmet. This thing is pretty hardcore, but it does blend in quite a bit with the clothes. If I remove the brown clothes, you can see these things a lot better. This is a pretty hardcore looking skin. The dark brown slash blood textured background, pretty cool, as well as the skull and bones littered all around this thing. Pretty hardcore. Then we've got the Phantom backpack. This is another opulent backpack with golden highlights all over it, florally looking patterns and things like that. Nothing too crazy about the texture. It's sporting this canvas looking red, black, and brown texture. This is definitely one of the least show-offy backpacks that we've seen since backpack skins were introduced. It's at least not too attention grabbing. This should fit most setups. There's nothing too crazy about it. Doesn't glow in the night, so it's just more of a simple looking backpack. It's pretty cool, but nothing crazy. If you'd like it, it's on the store for $2.50. This week we've got all stages of a Rust wipe. We've got the primitive DB, or rather Bang DB. This is a bean can grenade style double barrel shotgun, where the barrels are entirely made of these bean can grenades. This thing definitely probably does go bang at your front doorstep, but hopefully you're the one wielding this thing. This double barrel definitely goes bang outside your front door. As you can see on the side of it, we've got Raid Helper written there all the way near the base with a very angry face, and on top just a bunch of these bean cans. For reference, this thing quite literally is made of bean can grenades with the same bang written all across it. Sporting on the back when you scope in, I love Rust. Obviously, if you're on this end of this thing, you're definitely going to be saying that. On the other end, well, not so much. Stepping up from more primitive double barrels to the brand new Odyssey SAR, this will be your second tier of weapon in a wipe, and of course is just as menacing. This thing features, I guess, lava and magma rocks and things like that flowing around on it. There's a slight 3D texture to it. Of course, it's not for everyone, but it isn't a terrible looking skin. Here is what the iron sights look like. Zooming into this from the side, you can see it's all red hot with this magma type texture all over it, as well as golden highlights over most of it. There is a stock to this one, just as golden as the rest of the trim and outline on this weapon, followed by this red tape or cloth wrapped around the front of it. It's pretty sick though, not for everyone. For me, it's nothing too crazy, and while you think this may glow at nighttime, I'm afraid it, well, doesn't. Then stepping up to usually a final tier of weapon in a wipe, this brand new Elysium assault rifle. This is the most expensive skin of this week, going for a solid $4.99. Is all of the golden highlights worth it? Well, having a look up close, it's got a very, I'd call this Anubis look to it, with all of the gold highlights, black and metal. Not quite as hardcore as the skull armor we received. This gives me more Valorant vibes. If that's what you're into, well hey, here's this brand new AK, and of course, looking down the iron sights, this this is what we get. Not too bad, not too bad. Is this worth $5? Let me know down below. From the third person, this is what you can expect. Besides the weirdness happening around the muzzle at the front, I think that's more just rust than the skin. It does have a stock that's hidden away in my armor here, but you can see the tape on the magazine, all of the golden highlights and things like that. Is it worth $5? I don't know. Moving on from weapons to something a lot more friendly, this week we've got the Sloth Rock for $2.50. Super cute, super adorable. It'll be staring at you the entire time you're holding it while being prim-locked and gunned down from roofs if you happen to join it later in the wipe. Yep, there's not much to it. It's just a Sloth Rock, yet another animal. Of course, it is one of the more adorable ones. This I'll definitely be picking up just for its cuteness factor. That's pretty much it. Then finally, moving on from actual items that we can hold and wear, let's talk about the building items this week. This week's large chest for $2.50 is the Death Metal Large Box. This thing definitely is pretty metal, and best of all, as hardcore as this thing looks, when it becomes nighttime, it looks even better. This is a glowing skin, and the skull on the side, as well as the top, are super visible at nighttime, making this thing really stand out in your base. It's nothing too colorful, it's more minimalistic in that it's just white and black or gray and black. A pretty cool addition to the base, doesn't shine too brightly along the back and the sides, but the top and front are definitely way more visible. For just $2.50, you can take your steampunky / metal looking base and spruce it up with this. It definitely is one of the more funky skins we've seen recently, and would only fit in certain cases, but these pipes around the front connecting the metal scale to the rest of this thing really would look good in certain bases with maybe piping systems and things like that. Ultimately, pretty cool and pretty shiny, even better that it glows in the dark. Not too over the top though. Then finally we've got the all-or-nothing garage door, perfect for a gambler's base. Build this next to Bandit Camp and you'll definitely attract the locals. This thing is a status of wealth in Rust. With this, you surely got tons of scrap in your base, most likely from gambling, as it's a pretty colorful and niche-looking door. This, of course, as well, as you can see at the very top, does glow in the dark and looks something like this. Again, super easy to find. You're running back from Bandit Camp to depot your 10,000 scrap. This is definitely the door you'll want to look out for. Pretty cool, very niche, and of course very much fit for certain kinds of Rust players. And that's it, we've covered everything for this week's skin drops. It's definitely more suited towards a Rust desert player. Nothing too crazy, nothing too show-offy. I'll personally definitely be picking up the Sloth Rock and probably the garage door too. Everything else is just, well, okay. But anyways, hopefully you found this video interesting. Yet again, I'll be seeing you all next week for another installment. Thank you all for watching. Mine's been Troubleshoot, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao.